Hi, my name is Jocelyn Parker, and I interviewed Kiana Williams. She's a fellow Sped teacher at my school. I teach at KIPP North Philadelphia Academy. Um, yes, if you would like any of their contact information, it is listed below in the interview questions. So the first thing that I found the most interesting is Ms. Williams had technical advice or technical and technically correct answers, but she also had a lot of, great things to say surrounding supporting the whole emotional child. Teaching is, she also admits that teaching is very challenging at this moment. And a lot of teachers that I know personally, they know that it's difficult, but they don't really like voice it. And they're trying to just push through, but she does a really good job with voicing the difficulties that come along with being a sped teacher, as well as just a teacher in general at this moment. So I found it to be one interesting and cool fact. Yeah. Another thing that I found interesting is the way that she talks about de-escalating a student. There's a few things that I can take away from this interview in regards to how to de-escalate students. So she says, like, speaking to them in a neutral voice and comforting voice. Sometimes, myself, what I can work on is not matching the student's energy rather than being like a voice of reason and very level when I'm speaking to a student. So I think, or when I'm speaking to a student when they're escalated. So I think that was also something that a takeaway that I thought it was really interesting. For the second one, it says something that you think will be most challenging. Something that I think will be most challenging is with the students in our demographic, reaching the parents can be difficult. It can be challenging at times. So being able to keep up with students' progress monitoring and their progress notes without speaking to parents, this month alone, I have 8 IEP meetings this month, and for next month, the same amount. And for some of my students' parents, it's difficult setting up their annual meetings because we don't have all the information that we need. So I found that, that was something interesting that, and also that's challenging for Ms. Williams, and it's also challenging for myself, that reaching students, and reaching students' parents can be a big challenge. This also has to deal with attendance challenges as well, because of the low number of attendance and there's high number of absences at the schools. Our school has started to do lots of different incentives for the students, to get them to come to school. So you get a prize. They buy pretzels. Lately, they've been doing pretzels and water ice. Or like popsicles. They've done a pizza party. So lots of different things for the students to earn to get them to come to school. So that's one way we combat the challenge. It's still hard though. And then lastly, like a strategy that I'm excited to use in my own classroom is trying to use more Class Dojo. So in my previous video, I submitted another video and I used Class Dojo. I just need to focus on implementing it more. My students, they really enjoy Class Dojo because they can hear the dinging, they can see their little monster, and they like looking at those things. So I feel like I can add this strategy in to like improve my area of like engaging them, or not so much engaging them, but getting them to buy in to the behavior systems set up in the class. So yeah, this was a great interview. I thought it was very much thought-provoking. It made me think a lot about how I view myself in special education and the goals I want for my students to reach, as well as, you know, just like their ability, to be great. Oh, one last thing. So another thing I found interesting was the way she talked about why she wanted to be a sped teacher. I thought that question was well answered. There was a different answer. I've never heard anybody say that they wanted to be a sped teacher to show their students that they are able. I'm sure this is probably a common trend, but she was saying that she specifically wants them to know that they can do things independently. They just need assistance until they're able, to learn how to do things on their own. So I think that's something that's very important, is teaching our children to focus more on their abilities rather than what they can't do. So I thought that was something that was very important as well.